This video has been one of the hardest YouTube videos that I've ever had to make. Let's talk about it. A while ago, Games Workshop kindly sent me out the new Underworlds box, the Gnarlwood box, and in this there are 2 warbands, as usual with any starter box, and I was especially looking forward to working on the skeletons. These are some of the nicest skeletons that I've seen for a while, on par with the sort of stuff in Cursed City, and I was really looking forward to working on them as a hobby project. Now I bet you're all sat there going, if they sent you this such a long time ago, why is this video only just coming out now? And the answer to that is I've had a bit of a shitty month.
So this box arrived and I was instantly excited to start working on this project. It's one that I knew that I wanted to work on before I knew I was getting it sent out. As soon as I saw these announced and revealed, I knew that I wanted to work on the skeletons especially, but the other warband as well. So I started getting to work on it straight away, which is not something I do very often. Usually stuff arrives and it gets put to one side until I'm finished on whatever it is I'm working on at the moment. I started working on this straight away, which told me that I was really excited to work on this project. I got all the models clipped out, I got them all cleaned up, got rid of any mold lines and all the offcuts of sprue left on, got them all glued together. The skeletons in this kit are absolutely gorgeous. They are some of the nicest skeletons I've seen in a while. And I had a cool idea for a video that I wanted to do, demonstrating different standards of tabletop standard painting. That's something I might do at some point in the future, but I didn't end up doing that for this video. Now, I got all the skeleton warband done, absolutely loved that, and then started working on the other warband. I was having a whale of a time. I don't normally like building miniatures, but for some reason, building these, I think maybe because they're kind of easy builds with minimal like pieces and fairly easy to put together, that might have been something to do with it. But I was really enjoying this project and I was having a lot of fun. Now, unfortunately, that is pretty much where the fun ended for the majority of this project for me. It was nothing to do with the models, it was nothing to do with what I'd got planned for the video. Something in my personal life happened and it absolutely killed any sort of creativity that I had. I had got them built, I got them primed, and before I could start actually painting them, I just lost all interest in doing any sort of hobby related thing. Now, the time jump between the last clip and this clip is about 2 weeks, because I just didn't want to do anything for those 2 weeks. I'll go in a bit more detail and give you the long story of what has been going on at the end of the video, but for now, I thought it would be a waste to not use all of the footage that I got of me painting these up. And I thought it might make for an interesting video to sort of demonstrate and show off how hobby fatigue and losing your sort of mojo actually affects how we do hobby. And I know that I'm in a little bit of a different position to a lot of people because I create content on my hobby. I don't just do it for personal pleasure, I do it for videos and for content to put out on YouTube and Instagram and all these places. But it's a real struggle. If you try and force yourself to do something like this when you are not in the mood to do something like this, if you're not in a creative mood, it is not a fun process. I started putting all the base coats down on these and I was going to go with very sort of traditional silvers, and then I was going to tarnish those up, regular bone colours. I was going for reds on all the fabrics and stuff. And I got sort of partway through painting these, putting all the base coats on, and I was just not enjoying this. I was not having fun at all. I don't know whether it's because I was batch painting the 5 and I've not really done any batch painting for a while. I don't know if it's because I didn't like the colour scheme or if it's just because I was still dealing with the thing that was going off in my life. But I got to this point and I just wasn't happy. So I decided to do something a bit drastic and I started over. I reprimed all 5 skeletons, primed them white, and decided to go with a different colour scheme for them and try something a bit different in a sort of vague attempt to reawaken some sort of interest in doing hobby stuff. I decided to try and go for a sort of spectral look. I used the blue Crocscore scale contrast from underneath, airbrushed up to act as the sort of shadowed areas, I guess. And then I added some of the Scorpion Green contrast paint from the top down. And that would be the sort of ghosty, greeny, bluey glow. And then once all that was on, I was going to start adding in all the detail work, all the metallics, all the wooden stuff. But once again, I got to this point and I just wasn't happy with how this looked. It didn't make sense to me. Why would all of the skeleton be the sort of ghosty, greeny colours, but then not the metallics and wood? So I started over again, but this time I took it back to basics. I thought I'll just do one model and I will work out how I'm going to paint these, what I want to do, and I'll do it on one model. And then once I've got it down and I know what I'm doing, I'll paint the other 4. And I actually started enjoying myself painting again at this point. I went in and I added in all of the metallics, all of the leathers, all of the different bits on him that I wanted to be different finishes. I wanted the metallics to be metallic, I wanted the leathers to be darker, I wanted all the burn colours in there as a base. And then once all these were down, I then started adding the contrast paint sprayed on as before, except this time I thinned them down quite a lot so that they didn't go on quite as thick. I didn't want the colours to be quite as strong as they were on the previous attempt. And I really enjoyed painting this one model. Now, there's not really a point to this video. There is and there isn't. It's kind of a, if you're not enjoying doing something, don't force yourself. Or if you want to carry on doing something, switch it up, switch to a different project, maybe try a different colour scheme, maybe just dial it back and paint one model instead of painting a handful of models. I went through all this, and the only reason that I'm putting this video out is to demonstrate that we all go through it. Whether you're just a regular hobbyist, whether you're a content creator or whatever, we all go through this sort of loss of interest. And we all have to find different ways to get ourselves back into that mindset of doing hobby. And this is how I did that.
Now, I promised you that there would be a long answer at the beginning of this video as to why I've had a bit of a shit month, pardon my French. As most of you know, for this year, I have been working with Luke over at Geek Gaming Scenics, doing the filming and the editing for his YouTube channel. And over the last few months as well, I have been in the majority of the videos as a second presenter. I have had a hell of a lot of fun. It has been absolutely amazing. I have learned a lot. But unfortunately, that has come to an end. At the beginning of this month, I was given my 1 month notice to find another job. It basically hasn't worked out as we had planned. Now, I just want to say right here, hand on heart, there are no hard feelings between me and Luke. There are no hard feelings between me and Geek Gaming Scenics. We will continue to be friends. We will continue to collaborate where we can. It just hasn't worked as we had hoped. Obviously, this has been a bit of a major hit. Working with Luke over at Geek Gaming Scenics has been an absolute dream come true. Getting to do this, YouTube video creation as a job, has been amazing. But for now, it's come to an end. At some point in the future, I am hoping that I will be able to do this on my own channel as a full-time job and to create content full-time. But for now, I'm going back into regular employment. Now, I'm hoping that this won't have too much of an impact on my channel on here on the Pickle Jar. I'm hoping that I will still be able to do videos around my job as I have done for a while. But going back into a sort of regular office job, it's going to take a little bit of adjusting again. So if there are a fewer videos in the next few months, I hope that you guys will understand. I'm going to continue to do what I do, miniature painting and helping beginners get into stuff. I want to do some battle reports, I want to do some terrain stuff in the new year, but that's something that I need to look at and work out some space and technicalities of how I would do that. So there you go, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a little bit different. I did contemplate not bothering doing this as a video at all, but it seemed a waste to not use all of the footage that I've gathered for the last month of this project. And I felt like I needed to explain to you guys what's going on and why the channel may change a little bit in the near future. But I hope you've enjoyed it either way. If you have, leave us a like. If you're brand new, subscribe to keep up to date with all the content coming in the future. If you want to help support the channel, there is our Patreon linked down below in the description. Massive thank you to all our current Patreons. You guys are amazing. It really means a lot that you guys help support us in the ways that you do. If you want to support us any other way, all our affiliate links are down below as well. If you want to pick yourself up any new hobby products or new projects and give us a bit of a kickback, use those links. It helps us out massively. That's going to do it from me. I'll catch you in the next video, and until then, enjoy your hobby.